for more information.
Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
These have been tough times, and we could all use a helping hand to get through this period. GUT Credit Union gives you the opportunity to do just that without a worry. What are you looking forward to? A relaxing staycation? Brand new appliances or devices? Consolidating your debt to get more money in your pocket? Not a member? No worries. Come in and find out how you too can make the most of this offer. Or visit us today. Yes, you can have a brighter Christmas season with GUT Credit Union. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
This is the GBN television news for Tuesday, January 19th, 2021. I'm Chrislyn, Lashington. In the headlines, dog alerts owner to decomposed body in Mardi Gras. Identity remains unknown. Infrastructure minister says leaving vendors exposed was meant to make government look bad. Regularization takes center stage as 4% salary increase deferment debate continues. Social development minister debunks talks of Mount Gay patient alleged rape victim being pregnant. Private sector senator says without government's assistance, businesses could collapse by July. Trellona Charles is here to tease us sports and international news.
Tonight and around the globe, possible delay in COVID-19 vaccines for Antigua and the wider Caribbean, and tens of thousands affected as Indonesia faces floods. And in sports, Ministry of Sports plans inter-club athletic meets amidst no primary and secondary school sports. And the Grenada Athletics Association plans to facilitate the training of coaches and officials.
Details right after this message.
Hi, I'm Francis Urias Peters. I'm a good listener, and K105 has always been a great source of education and entertainment. Now, while the station name may have changed over the years, it has always provided valuable information which enabled me as a playwright to document and to celebrate our history, our behavior, and our achievements. K105 is my choice. It's the national station.
Good evening. This is News at 7. Are medical doctors employed by the government of Grenada engaged in private practice within the walls of the General Hospital? While medical services are offered to Grenadians free in most cases and for minimal fees depending on the severity of the issue, reports are circulating of what could equate to shady dealings in the provision of medical services. We get more in this report.
Public concerns are being voiced about some practices taking place at the General Hospital involving medical doctors. There are claims that patients are made to pay exorbitant hospital fees to conduct surgeries at the General Hospital. One case reported is that a patient was allegedly charged $15,000 for a surgery to be paid to the doctor for the procedure undertaken at the General Hospital using hospital equipment. In an exclusive interview with Health Minister Nicholas Steele on Tuesday, he was asked if government is aware of this type of practice and if this is an acceptable one. Minister Steele says he is unaware of such practice taking place at the hospital, but explained what might be possible.
There is a surgeon that has private practice, and there are and the individual who goes to them and the request is made to the general hospital, then whatever private arrangements were there in the beginning remain. But if the individual came to the general hospital and accessed the services of that specialist from the general hospital, then it is not appropriate for the specialist to charge. With any specific doctor, so that is the policy of the government of Grenada, not specific to neurosurgery or any other surgery. It is a general practice that if you access a specialist through the general hospital, then all of the care from that specialist administered at the general hospital is at the government rates, and there should not be any private charge.
The minister explained what a person should do should they be faced with such an encounter.
That has no let the hospital administrator, no director of hospital services or the medical director or the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Health or myself. And I will pass the information on and make sure that it is dealt with appropriately.
Question was put to Minister with responsibility for hospital services, Honorable Delma Thomas, who told GBN she is unaware of this and therefore is unable to say if this is normal or abnormal practice within the hospital. She told GBN she must first inquire to determine the facts of this matter. Chrislyn John, GBN News.
Minister for Infrastructure Nolan Cox says it was a clear attempt by one contractor to brand the ministry in a bad light. He rebuked the move to leave vegetable vendors without a cover over their heads as unnecessary. Chrislyn John has the latest update to this story.
Minister for Infrastructure Nolan Cox expressed disappointment in actions taken by Blue Bubbles, the contracted company for providing tents, tables and chairs for vendors. On Monday, vendors at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium location turned to the media to voice their dissatisfaction as tents were dismantled and taken away from them, leaving them unhappy. During this morning's post-cabinet briefing, Minister Cox responded to the issue, saying the matter was resolved.
We are very disappointed about that, but we are happy to indicate that the tents are back up. By this morning, the tents were back up, and so that matter is resolved to some extent. We have extended apologies to the vendors for that inconvenience that was meted out to them at no fault to them, and I'm hoping sometime this afternoon myself and the Minister of Agriculture will pay a visit on the site to have a more in-depth discussion with the vendors to ensure that this matter does not reoccur going forward in the future.
The Infrastructure Minister explained that Blue Bubbles was contracted back in April last year to provide the service by the Ministry of Agriculture. However, due to the heavy cost of the service, the Ministry of Agriculture could not continue with the contract, which was taken up by the Ministry of Infrastructure. According to Minister Cox, the services of another company was sought, which was cheaper than the present one used. Minister Cox says it was within the contractor's right to do so, but believes this could have been handled more amicably.
The current contractor, while his contract was coming to an end, it appears that he probably was not happy that the decision was taken to not continue with him. As such, it appears that there was a deliberate attempt to create some discomfort for the vendors and to create some embarrassment for government, because the tents were removed while the vendors were using it. That is what it appears to us as government, and we are very disappointed.
It is the new contractor hired by the ministry. GBN revisited the vendors on Tuesday and was told that they are quite satisfied with the prompt action taken by the ministry.
Today, you all heard our plight as to what was happening to us, but on the prompt action of the ministry, the lady in the ministry, Ms. Thomas, she came and the WAGITI was called, and immediately tents was replaced, even tables. So we are much happier than yesterday.
GBN also contacted Blue Bubbles. We were told that since another ministry took over the responsibility, that all the tents was not necessary. Instructions were given to remove the 4 larger tents, leaving the smaller ones in place. Providing an update on the market project, Minister Cox says work is progressing quite smoothly and they are on schedule. All materials necessary are on island and the project should be complete by the first quarter of this year. Chrislyn John, GBN News.
President General of the Technical and Allied Workers Union, Andre Lewis, says government's proposal to public workers unions to defer a 4% salary increase is just a ploy by the Keith Mitchell ruling administration to stall until closer to the next general election. This according to a call-in guest to GBN's Beyond the Headlines program Monday night. Lewis, who represents trade unions in the Senate, said government's excuse to not send a cadre of teachers to the T.A. Marisho Community College, citing cash shortage, is a setup, while pushing Imanis to fill certain positions is all part of government's ploy to put in place replacement teachers.
Colleagues there who are public officers may not be aware of this. Take this from my brother. We have walked that road before. They are creating a second batch of workers, teachers, that they can turn to in the event of industrial action in the future. Note that. I have seen that. Secondly, the deferral by government, I'm putting on the table. They have seen an opportunity where they can use COVID-19 to get a deferral and pay a massive back pay closer to election to get votes. I want to put this on the table. Think about it. Remember general negotiations, comrades. The government wanted to extend the 3-year negotiating cycle to a 4-year, up to 2022. Now we know that election is constitutionally due in early part of 2023. Now I know my colleagues in the public servants, the PSs can't address that, and this is not for you. The public officers, I thank you for the work that you have done. But this year is about strategy and tactics.
Lewis further strengthened his point by urging his colleagues to decline government deferral proposal, as government, he says, can find the money to pay teachers their 4% salary increase. COVID-19 continues to adversely affect local businesses with an ultimatum seemingly looming over their heads in 2021. The current state of emergency and curfew in effect since December has further crippled the local entertainment industry and nightlife. An already cash-strapped government may again be called for another bailout in terms of income support for employees and financial support to businesses. Gerard Joseph has been speaking to the senator representing the private sector.
The situation has gotten worse to the point of companies facing liquidation as high debt loads continue to severely affect businesses. Private sector Senator Christopher Diali says this is especially so for companies within the tourism industry as well as the entertainment industry.
So there is going to be a significant outfall or fallout by June of this year if some of these issues are not addressed. So I know the Chamber and the GHTA is going to try and do a joint paper and approach the government to see what assistance can be garnered for these companies that are facing these dire issues.
Senator Diali says there are varying degrees of effect by the pandemic on businesses over the last year. However, primarily the hotel and accommodation sector are top on the list.
Some businesses are more severely affected than others. So the tourism sector will be more severely affected and more acutely in a position where they may not survive beyond June. Other businesses, the relative impact may be slightly different because of the nature of the business, but certainly the entertainment business, the accommodation sector business associated with SGU, and based on when SGU comes back into play, will be affected, and the indirect businesses that they support, so rental agencies and so on, supermarket businesses to some extent.
Nightclubs and restaurants have witnessed a drastic decline in business, having to shut down or operate within curfew hours. Senator Diali impresses the closure of businesses will automatically affect unemployment and potential social issues.
We have to have all our heads come together and see what can work and what cannot work and what we could do and to help preserve what we have. And this is about protecting livelihoods as much as protecting lives. So it's a matter of seeing how we can get the right balance with the assistance of government. So it's not that all of us have the answers. It is about all of us coming together and seeing how we could come to some sort of place where we could come up with some level of solutions to the issues that we face.
Hardware and retail businesses, he notes, have been performing relatively well, benefiting from the construction industry. Government has already indicated in late 2020 that it was no longer in a position to continue providing a stimulus package to companies or individuals directly impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Government has extended a state of emergency which began on July 11th to end on July 14th. A 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew remains in effect. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Is today's canine hero. The little pup is the nose behind the unearthing of the human remains on Tuesday in the Mardi Gras area. Beverly Telesford was on the scene and filed this report.
God sent you, said the daughter of missing woman Cecilia Mungo to the puppy that discovered the human remains at Mardi Gras St. George on Tuesday. Karen Mungo was called to the scene by police officers after the discovery as a means of identifying any particulars that may belong to the missing woman. However, it remains unknown whether the remains match that of her mother. Just after 1 p.m., police received a report from Mardi Gras resident Ian Julian, the owner of the dog, after the animal discovered the bones of a human body in the bushes where he went to tie out his sheep. Julian said he was just thinking about training the pup to hunt when the discovery was made.
I went and see about my sheep, and after I come out from seeing about the sheep, I realized it's a nice little dog, he will hunt. So I decided now to get a little run in the bush. And while we go across going up the hill now, I see he end up leaving, and he run in front of me, and he stand. So I say, what are you looking at? What you see there? And he stand up and he looking at me. So on the way looking at me now, I do something and I look at it and I realize, well, I walk down, I find I see something strange. When I look, I realize I see a head. So then I say, no man, I say it had to be a body. So the first thing come to me is Tandu that was missing for a year and how much, 12 days now. Yeah, so the same time when I saw it, I realized, I said, no, I have to go and report it. So I came down the same time and I say, well, I jumped my car and I say, well, I'm going to report it. So I made a report. So I'm going to give a statement now to the police.
Several lawmen, including members of the Criminal Investigation Department and a pathologist, were on the scene when GBN arrived. Forensic evidence was collected, which may suggest or confirm the identity of the remains. The question remains whether or not the RGPF should commission a canine unit for events such as these. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
This is news at 7. Coming up, Social Development Minister gives clarity on case of alleged rape at the Mount Gay Mental Hospital. Stay with us.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear, because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
New Year! More games and more money! Sunday, January 31st
from 6 p.m.
Get set for another massive online bingo!
And this time you can win
$10,000 US.
10,000 big ones.
Tickets are $10 US. In Grenada, get your tickets at gotofed.com or box offices island-wide. If you're overseas, tickets are only available at gotofed.com. Tell your friends and family about all the fun and excitement online. And the best part is, you can play from the comfort of your own home. So what are you waiting for? Play Wacky Virtual Bingo!
The new way to play bingo.
When I need shelter, warmth, security, I know you'd be there. Something in these moments lets me know you care. Maybe the way you shield me, maybe it's your smile And the way you tell me it's okay to try. Now I'm invincible. I can pack my sack. I can take the long road. 'Cause it's okay to look back if I am scared. I know you're there. Arise, together there's no limit to what we can do. Arise, with no wings, fly. Arise, and we're so high, enjoy the view.
This is Ariza, your financial freedom, your future.
Do you want to win loads of prizes this Christmas with BIP? Join our Spin to Win promotion to win exciting prizes daily. Here's how. Go to the Discover section of the BIP app. Search for the Spin to Win channel and click follow. Once you have followed the channel, click the Spin Now button, choose your device type, select your country, and wait for the wheel to start spinning. Be quick. When your wheel lands on the correct prize of the day, screenshot the prize and send your screenshot to the Spin to Win chat to enter the promotion. Click the Daily Updates button to get updates on the prize you are required to spin for each day, and also to know if you are the lucky winner of the day.
A Merry Christmas, spin and win with BIP.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here even when the future seems unclear, because one thing is certain: you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
The government of Grenada says all the necessary preparations are in place to assist citizens of neighboring St. Vincent and the Grenadines if needed, as authorities continue to monitor the intensified volcanic eruption on the island. Rena Pear spoke to Minister Steele, who says they are ready to help.
Grenada continues to keep a close eye on neighboring St. Vincent and the Grenadines as they experience increased volcanic activities on the island. Scientists have intensified their observations and have sent out teams via helicopter to monitor the activities. In recent days, panic struck as residents in the villages on the western flank of La Soufrière observed a glow coming from the summit of the volcano. Scientists explained that the ongoing eruption has resulted in the creation of a dome, which is made up of a very hot material that would naturally give off a glow. The incandescence is not visible during the day due to the brightness of the sun, but is visible at night since there are no other sources of light. Minister for Health, Nicholas Steele, says the government of Grenada is in constant contact with the authorities in St. Vincent and is ready and able to assist the island if the need arises.
Our National Emergency Management entity has been speaking with theirs as well as with SEDERA. We have been monitoring the situation. COVID-19 poses a challenge in almost all aspects of our life, but does not make it impossible for us to be our brother's keeper and to be there for our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We also would like to recognize that on top of the various challenges that they would have, like us and most of the world with COVID-19, they're also facing this challenge with their volcano, or the threat. And as such, they are even more in our thoughts and prayers, and we are here should the need arise.
The government of Grenada, in collaboration with St. George's University, agreed to make available up to 2,000 beds on the campus should an eruption of the volcano create the need of intentions to evacuate. The health minister explained that COVID-19 protocols have already been established in SGU in case of an evacuation.
There have been discussions and protocols on a broad basis have been discussed. So should the need arise, we would be able to very quickly operationalize something like that. It is our sincere hope, based on the location of the volcano, that individuals could be relocated within St. Vincent. But should the need arise, we would be ready to stand as a neighbor to the south to assist St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as we have in any of the times in the past that they have gone through challenges.
Director of the UE Seismic Research Center, Ursula Joseph, says that the current eruption is an effusive one. This means that lava is steadily flowing out of the volcano. She said even if the eruption worsens into an explosive one, most of the hazard will be localized to St. Vincent, and that Grenada and other neighboring islands may only experience the effects of ashes in the atmosphere.
If the eruption in St. Vincent becomes explosive, the likely or the possible impact to neighboring islands may be in the form of ash that may be transported in the wind currents. So, and of course the implications of this is that aircrafts flying in the region can be impacted.
The volcano activity at La Soufrière started late last month. For GBN News, I am Rina Pear reporting.
Minister responsible for hospital services, Honorable Delma Thomas, clears the air on allegations that a resident of the Mount Gay Mental Facility has been raped and allegedly impregnated by members of staff. We have details in this report.
2 male members of staff at the Mungay Psychiatric Hospital are presently being investigated for alleged sexual assault or rape on a patient. Reports are that the young female patient has been placed at the facility for more than a year. According to reports, she expressed her discomfort being at the institution and asked to be removed. However, up to news time, she was still warded at the facility. GBN contacted Minister with responsibility for hospital services, Honorable Delma Thomas, on Tuesday, who indicated that the 2 individuals are presently on leave, while the Public Service Commission deliberates on the next course of action.
I heard of that information in December. We got the report. I spoke with Commissioner in December. From December, the police has been investigating. On the 29th of December, the police sent their report. We got it in the ministry, not to our ministry, they sent it to another ministry, but it came to us on the 12th of January. Investigation is ongoing, and while we wait on the Public Service Commission to guide on the next step, because we now have a report from the police, then it means that it is the best thing to do. If there's an active investigation, then you do not leave the people on the workplace. And remember, you are innocent until proven guilty.
Preliminary information reaching our news desk stated that the young lady was impregnated as a result of the alleged rape. However, further probe revealed that this is not so. GBN understands the alleged victim was placed within the institution, but not for medical purposes.
So that was reported yesterday that the person is pregnant. However, when Commissioner called me yesterday, he said that when they were investigating and the family went to the doctor, the mother went to the doctor, they did a pregnancy test and whatever, and there was no pregnancy. No. So that needs to be clarified, that there isn't a pregnancy. But as we speak, the young lady is in Mungay.
A plea goes out to relatives to render assistance to the young lady who needs their support. Chrislyn John, GBN News.
With the recent increase in sharks in the Caribbean Sea and sightings reported near a number of neighboring islands, concerns have been raised over the reason for the noticeable increase in the shark population, the safety of the water, and in some cases, the preservation of said sharks. More in this report.
In the Caribbean, shark populations have been decimated along a number of fronts. Loss of reef habitat and health has driven shark decline, hence the surprise and concern in the increase in shark sightings once again in our waters. What does this mean for the marine environment? Coordinator of Marine Protected Areas at Grenada Fisheries Division, Orlando Harvey, explains.
Sharks are critically important to the marine environment in general. The recent discussions about the number of sharks within the region is actually, it was a little bit surprising for me. In general, an increase in sharks in the marine environment is typically a good thing, because sharks are important in keeping the health of the ecosystem with regard to unhealthy fish being there. They're essentially the cleaners of the ocean. So if there's a sick or unhealthy fish, typically the sharks would be the ones who take it out, any one of those apex predators. So an increase in shark is not necessarily a bad thing. Actually, in my case, I think it's actually a good thing if we have some more sharks, especially on our reefs, because our reefs need them.
The relationship between underwater volcanoes and sharks was added to the conversation after several social media posts from neighboring islands highlighted that the magnetic fields surrounding volcanoes may have influenced the recent increase. Harvey explained the connection between sharks and volcanoes.
With regard to, I guess, active volcanoes, those are the ones, because magma, once it's just recently released from a volcano, for example, it's very magnetic. And again, there's a lot of studies that indicate that sharks are the magnetic receptors are very acute, so they will tend to find those things or be attracted to them. With regard to, our volcanoes and recent activity within the region, I don't know if there's any connection per se, because no studies have been done, but sharks do have a natural affinity to anything that produces a magnetic or electric field.
The MPA coordinator added that fear or misunderstanding may have a role to play in the lack of concern or capacity to care for the importance of the creatures to our marine environment.
I'm a little bit concerned about that in some regards. As you rightfully said, there's a lot of fear associated with sharks. People who don't interact with the marine environment as much as maybe I do would tend to have maybe a fear of sharks, or if you come in contact with a shark, they think that the only thing a shark can do is kill you. But we've never had, that I could recall, definitely in my lifetime, anyone being severely injured by a shark or even killed by a shark in Grenadian waters. In most of the cases where we have incidences of sharks interacting with persons are typically people who spearfishing and they have blood in the water. They have something that attracts the shark to them, and they may have an encounter with it, but it's never been really severe or life-threatening. So I think there's nothing really for people to be overly concerned or overly fearful of with regards to a typical shark that we would have in our waters. So I'm a little bit concerned that we would have people going out there and actually hunt, actively trying to fish sharks. Grenada doesn't have a fishery for sharks. It's not something that we target. It's not a species we target. We do have some incidental capture where you set a line for something else and you may catch a shark. And in Grenada, we do pretty much land everything we catch, so we do have incidences like those.
For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
And that was marine biology class for today. Moving on to your social buzz, we're going to turn our attention to what's been creating a buzz on social media. Trellona Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. Vendors at the National Stadium called the government's treatment inhumane, as with no prior notice, the tents beneath which they sell their produce were ripped down from over their heads.
Morning, we come here, we switch from one place to the other. Another Ministry of Agriculture van came to remove the rest of tents. We told them that they cannot do that without notifying us, because if we were told that we have to remain here until April, and whatever problem they are having, whether with contract or not, we are the vendors and not dogs. We are people. We are providing a service for the nation.
As always, our audience gave their thoughts on the issue. Karen commented, "Oh Lord, please put a hand. These people are making an honest living. Why can't they be treated with dignity?" We are already complicated by COVID with multiple job losses and a decrease in revenue. A little compassion can go a long way. Melvon said, sad news. Look at what we are coming to. 1999, $10 million was borrowed to build a state-of-the-art market. 2021, we are still building it. What happened with that $10 million? Juland said, come on authorities, the vendors deserve to be treated better than that after they provide a great service to the people of our country. Another individual said, because we have a government that does things before behind, I take it that the vendors will be relocated, but the government will notify them by Wednesday or Thursday. And Darrell wrote, these people have been out of their normal vending locations since last year. The Minister of Agriculture showing up in the media calling for more support for farmers and local products, and this happened? Such a two-faced government. No respect for the hard-working farmers. We were so glad when they were willing to go to the stadium and set up so we would have quality fruits and vegetables again. Stop making things harder for the small people all the time. That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. As always, if you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the GBN Eyesore lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN Eyesore is brought to you by ClearVision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. We're changing the vision care landscape one customer at a time. ClearVision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
Tonight, our eyesore reporter is saying, if you think strawberries can't grow in Grenada, think again. Tonight, we feature a locally grown strawberry. Our eyesore reporter added that there is, in fact, lots more where this one came from. Research says strawberries do well in both tropical climates and areas where the temperature reaches as low as -50 degrees Fahrenheit. However, when planted in extremely hot climates, strawberries require frequent irrigation and maximum water retention in the soil. So, it is possible for the fruit to grow locally if properly attended to. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Still ahead, tourism officials launch campaign to boost the local tourism industry. This is news at 7.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform. Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
Do you want to win loads of prizes this Christmas with BIP? Join our Spin to Win promotion to win exciting prizes daily. Here's how. Go to the Discover section of the BIP app. Search for the Spin to Win channel and click follow. Once you have followed the channel, click the Spin Now button, choose your device type, select your country, and wait for the wheel to start spinning. Be quick. When your wheel lands on the correct prize of the day, screenshot the prize and send your screenshot to the Spin to Win chat to enter the promotion. Click the Daily Updates button to get updates on the prize you are required to spin for each day, and also to know if you are the lucky winner of the day.
A Merry Christmas, spin and win with BIP.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
The proposed idea of an ecotourism project by one farmer on the western side of the island has shown some promise and has caught the attention of the Ministry of Agriculture. Officials from the ministry did a walkthrough with the farmer, offering their recommendations. Rena Pear tells us more.
Owner of Bookage Farms and Trades, Philip David, and his team have occupied the 5-acre plot at Bookage Estate for the last 2.5 years. David believes that this idea of ecotourism and a botanical garden effect can put a new perspective on farming.
But also to have a productive botanical garden where we'll be producing for markets, marketing board, local consumption, internal consumption, and for visitors coming here too.
David has confidence that his idea cannot become a reality without the expert advice of technicians from the Ministry of Agriculture. Recently, an 8-member team did a walkthrough of the farm at Bernays and Mark to seek out the practicality of the idea. According to David, the plan is to have a total organic farm with a variety of fruits.
Of developing new strains of existing plants. For instance, we have dragon fruits, we have sorrel, we have about 4 or 5 different types of mangoes, we have 4 different types of oranges, we have 3 different types of grapefruits, things like that. We also have grapes here, red and the green grapes. We have also Bajan cherries, etc., etc., etc. So we want our visitors to come here, sample the fruits, sample products in the land, and then also sample the cooked version of these fruit, because we'll be cooking on site also, so they can actually literally choose their meals, choose their salads, things like that, pick it off the trees and bring it in and produce it from there, and they actually, so they're eating farm to table basically.
Acting Chief Land Use Officer Trevor Thompson offered his observation and recommendation going forward.
The area was abandoned for a number of years, so the present crops that are cultivated, most of them are in very poor condition, especially the cocoa. Very poor drainage, so we have a lot of waterlogging. So that definitely needs to be rehabilitated. Now he has to begin to really look at what we call an agricultural farm plan to see how he wants to recultivate the land so that it is done in a systematic manner. But I think he has a good vision for the 5 acres, and I think in 5 years' time, you come back here, it will be transformed.
David is one of the many farmers who received the technical advice and support from the Ministry of Agriculture. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
Excellent project. The Grenada Tourism Authority, in collaboration with the Ministry of Tourism and Civil Aviation, is launching another campaign that is aimed at boosting the tourism sector in Grenada. Rena Pear reports.
The launch of the hotline will specifically deal with travel-related inquiries and is considered necessary by tourism officials to assist travel agents, tour operators, visitors, or returning nationals with general inquiries about entry protocols, guidance on where to stay or where to go during a visit to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Ria Murray, Public Relations Officer at GTA, told GBN the goal is making the process of obtaining information much easier for travelers.
Just giving travelers more ready access to information, making the obtaining easier.
The launch of the hotline will specifically deal with travel-related inquiries and is considered necessary by tourism officials to assist travel agents, tour operators, visitors, or returning nationals with general inquiries about entry protocols, guidance on where to stay or where to go during a visit to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Ria Murray, Public Relations Officer at GTA, told GBN the goal is making the process of obtaining information much easier for travelers.
Just giving travelers more ready access to information, making the obtaining of information much easier. So in terms of when they are booking a hotel and they want to know, where can I go, where it's budget friendly, things like that, we can assist with the general entry protocols, what people will need. And when they are cleared by health officials, what can they do, where can they go, and what are the rules on island that they have to follow. Things like that, this travel hotline will answer. And we just want to make it easier, much more simpler for people to get information while they are making the decision to visit Pure Grenada, the spice of the Caribbean.
The Public Relations Officer says that from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily, a customer representative will be available to anyone calling the hotline, as they are fully trained to meet their needs. She says the hotline is not for people aiming to get their health certificates or other health matters.
This is basically a travel-related protocol. We will leave the health-related aspect of it to the Ministry of Health in terms of travel authorization and things of that sort, PCR testing and so. But when it comes to everything else travel related, that's what this travel hotline is all about.
The month of January is normally the peak of the tourism season in Grenada. However, due to the impact of COVID-19, the number of visitors to the island has dropped significantly. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
Stay with us. The weather and sports are up next.
Hey man. Well, man, that's you make that trip. Why do all this more? Things tight since COVID, And Christmas coming, the toys to build, my house and my car to repair, the wife go and chill with Ivan. What you want me to do?
I'm expected to do all that more.
But what you want me to do? Why don't go down my communal? You don't have to pay them until January. They have 20,000 in giving away, and the interest rate low. And listen to me, I try them orders and them never look good. Who they want them on?
Well, watch, like you have more than your ass. Choose your loan at communal, giving you the money for what you want to do. It's a loan for you.
You know what? I'll get them a little try.
Listen. Where you going all this money? Don't need it. Leave the mud, man. When you go down there, the rate's low. Low.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again. At Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox your way to to health.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
Keeping an eye on the weather indeed. Tonight's minimum temperature 24.5 degrees Celsius. The weather is expected to be generally fair, becoming partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy at times, with few brief to widely scattered showers. Winds east to northeasterly to easterly at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Seas moderate to slightly rough, waves 6 to 8 feet in open waters. A marine advisory is in effect. Tides high at 8:20 p.m. and low at 2:30 a.m. As we look ahead, Wednesday's weather is expected to be partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy and windy, with few brief to widely scattered showers. And on Thursday, generally fair and breezy, becoming partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy, with few brief to widely scattered showers. And on Friday, generally fair and breezy, becoming partly cloudy at times with few brief showers. That's it for your weather forecast right here on GBN News.
Good evening, sporting fans. I'm Trellona Charles. Interclub sports is the prospective plan by the Ministry of Sports to replace the various sporting meets by primary and secondary schools. Challenged by the state of affairs locally, Grenadians are again experiencing a year without the usual comprehensive sporting calendar and the anticipated track and field season. However, coordinator of sports, Colin Peters, says they are planning sport meets within various track and field clubs around the country.
And we'll run some mini meets or some meets. We'll give them the financial support, maybe for the medals, the trophies, and the technical support, so that they could have competition. They are training and the athletes need to compete. So within that confined area, so we'll collaborate with at least 4 sports clubs, including Karikou, and we'll have our sports meet. The intention in April is to also have a national meet.
Peters says it all depends on the country's situation, but they intend to collaborate with the Grenada Athletics Association to organize some of the mini meets. The Grenada Athletics Association says they will continue to facilitate training of coaches and officials, as in the case of 2020 when the athletics season was severely impacted. Public Relations Officer Kwame Hippolyte tells GBN that for 2021, the GAA will continue its partnership with the NACAC in the area of training.
There was a session for coaches as well as officials, and also women, the development of women in sports. And these are some that we ensured that we positioned ourselves in participating in. Added to that, members of our executive participated in a number of virtual meetings and seminars with at the executive level.
Hippolyte says coaches and officials will be specifically targeted during this round of training.
That's the first phase. Secondly, we are going to be hosting some training, and we are looking at 2 critical groups here in this local training, and that will be rolled out in the 2021 year. That of our coaches as well as our officials. So we are going to be partnering again with our regional bodies, as well as we are going to be using some of our local funds in ensuring that our coaches are trained and officials are kept up to mark in terms of the rule changes at the World Athletics level during the 2021 year.
That's it for sports. Up next, around the globe. tonight we take a probe around the globe. A story being monitored closely in Antigua and around the world, which could also impact Grenada. Bilateral deals between vaccine producers and rich countries are creating difficulties for the COVAX facility. This means Antigua and Barbuda and other COVAX members could face delays in receiving doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. More from Jamie Rocha.
The world is on the brink of a catastrophic moral failure. And the price of this failure will be paid with lives and livelihoods in the world's poorest countries.
This warning from World Health Organization Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus. He made the comments Monday as he addressed the 148th meeting of the WHO Executive Board. The Director General says it's understandable that governments want to prioritize vaccinating their health workers and older people first.
But it's not right that younger, healthier adults in rich countries are vaccinated before health workers and older people in poorer countries.
He says there'll be vaccines for everyone, but the most vulnerable in all countries should get the preference now. Dr. Tedros says 44 bilateral deals were signed in 2020, and at least 12 have already been signed this year. He says most manufacturers have prioritized regulatory approvals in rich countries where the profits are the highest rather than submitting full doses to WHO.
This could delay COVAX deliveries and create exactly the scenario COVAX was designed to avoid, with hoarding, a chaotic market, an uncoordinated response, and continued social and economic disruption.
He calls on high-income countries and vaccine producers to prioritize supplies with WHO to ensure equitable distribution of the preventative medicine. Meanwhile, he cautions countries should only use vaccines that meet rigorous standards for safety, efficacy, and quality. Jamie J. Roche, ABS News.
At least 15 people are dead and more than 40,000 have been forced from their homes as floods inundate regions in Indonesia's South Kalimantan province. The floods began in early January, but the rain has not stopped. Environmental groups say deforestation to make way for palm oil plantations and mining is making things worse. Al Jazeera's Jessica Washington has more from Jakarta, Indonesia.
In Indonesia's South Kalimantan province on the island of Borneo, heavy rain has lashed these villages and towns for days. Tens of thousands of people have been evacuated. Some are choosing to stay put. Fauzi Rahman has been sleeping outside his house for nearly a week. It's the first time he's experienced a flood.
I have to stay here to look after my belongings. People might steal them at night. Also, I have to watch in case the electricity short circuits.
Flooding is common in Indonesia during the monsoon season, but this year 11 of the 13 districts in South Kalimantan have been inundated, some for the first time ever.
I need help, the basics like food. We cannot work right now, and my husband hasn't been able to work because of COVID-19.
Evacuation centers are operating around affected areas, but volunteers say their resources are stretched.
We need blankets for the elderly. We only have 3. We need food for them and for the toddlers. We're also lacking medicine.
Some of those here are suffering from diarrhea and skin infections caused by contaminated water. And many say they don't know what they'll do when they return to their houses.
All my possessions are gone. The water in my house is chest height.
President Joko Widodo visited the area earlier in the week.
This is a major flood that may not have occurred in South Kalimantan for more than 50 years due to heavy rainfall.
But environmental groups say land degradation and deforestation is making the floods worse.
These floods are particularly bad because from the total 3.7 million hectares of land in South Kalimantan, 50% is already burdened by mining and palm oil plantations.
For him and others, this crisis isn't just about rain, but the mismanagement of land. Jessica Washington, Al Jazeera, Jakarta.
That's it for our probe around the globe. Stay with us as Chrislyn reminds you of tonight's top stories.
A recap of this evening's headlines. Dog alerts owner to decomposed body in Mardi Gras. Identity remains unknown. Infrastructure minister says leaving vendors exposed was meant to make government look bad. Regularization takes center stage as 4% salary increase deferment debate continues. Social development minister debunks talks of Mount Gay patient alleged rape victim being pregnant. Private sector senator says without government's assistance, businesses could collapse by July. In around the globe, possible delay in COVID-19 vaccines for Antigua and wider Caribbean. And further afield, tens of thousands affected as Indonesia faces floods. In sports, Ministry of Sports plans inter-club athletic meet to replace various sporting meets by primary and secondary schools. If you missed any parts of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at www.gbn.gd or on GBN Television's Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Chrislyn Lashington. That's the news. We'll see you again. Good night.